Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for? I watch people get stuck and frozen, and that breaks my heart, 'cause I was once stuck and frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people.
Hi there, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Craig's background looks like an old school club where everything is mahogany and black leather and there's cognac underneath the table and a cigar.
Totally. I swear I just I had that exactly.
That's one of my guilty pleasures. I'm like a huge history buff. So let me see, I'll point it up real quick.
It's like a little, or it looks like a little Harry Potter-ish too.
I got my little library up there. Right.
Oh man,
So I got all
beautiful.
my presidential, I have like George Washington behind me. I have a couple other presidents, Abraham Lincoln.
I thought that was a virtual background at first.
Oh, me too.
You could tell it was real. It was super impressive.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I also have a bear rug underneath. There's a litter tray, so I have a true bear rug there. So
Wow, that is incredible. A legit bear rug. Wow. Did you kill it? Did you actually kill it and skin it?
I went about it the better way, which is I bought it from an estate. I didn't do the killing.
He recycled the bear rug. That's
exactly.
Very environmental.
That's good. You saved that. You saved good, because now there's no more.
That's it.
There we go. There we go. And we have Chris Young. Hi, Chris. How are you? I'm Gina.
Hey, Gina. How are you?
Ken Van Loo. I'm wonderful. Thank you. I'm wonderful. And Mr. Ken Van Loo, you made it. I'm so glad we got the link to you. All right.
Ken Van Loo does not have a bear rug.
No.
Not yet.
No.
I think I might have changed a few minds, so you never know.
You a faux bear rug. How about a faux bear rug?
I guess it's a step in the right direction.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Ezekiel. How are you doing,
Hello,
brother?
Mike. How are you?
I'm doing well. I know, right? How long has it been? 8 hours? 9 hours?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you?
Hello, Gina.
Hello, Ezekiel from Colombia. He is
From Colombia,
far.
Bogota.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey, Michael, Reader,
incredible.
it's great to see you before we're actually going to meet. I've got a funny story that I want to share with everybody here. So Michael, Reader, and I have been trying to connect over the past couple of weeks, and I kept getting these emails from this person like, hey, I'm trying to set up this appointment for my boss. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what this is. So I'm just like, just going into spam and just letting it go. And then like, it just kept going. I'm like, this is a really smart way to set up a meeting. Like, hey, I'm going to set up a meeting for my boss and he's waiting for you to accept. I'm like, this is a brilliant marketing technique. And then like a couple of weeks go by and then we never end up connecting. And then we get reintroduced and I'm like, yeah, I don't know why we haven't gotten connected. He's like, yeah, my assistant was sending you messages, but we never heard back from you. And I'm like, oh my God, that was your assistant. Like you were real, like this whole thing. And I lost my mind.
And if I know anything about his assistant, and if his assistant is anything like Michael, she was probably reaching out to you every day at exactly the same time of the day, because that is like process mastery incarnate down there.
Wow.
Very consistent, yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
I thought it was so beautiful.
I don't know if it's so much a genius other than I'm just kind of like when it comes to the admin function of everything, I like to just have my team do it. So I don't know if I can take credit for the genius aspect of it, but I appreciate you and I look forward to speaking soon, my friend.
Yep, absolutely. Friday.
Yes, sir.
Just bringing people together. Just bringing people together.
Well, we're all about here. Yes.
Sean Callaghy.
What's up, Michael Smikun? How are you, brother?
In the house.
Hey, Sean. Doing super well.
All right. So what's cooking? How we doing?
We're doing awesome. So we literally were all just going around saying hello to one another. And Deepak and Mike Reader, one of my advisors, already have a meeting set up. So just bringing people together.
Amazing. Can I tell my Michael Smikun fun fact?
Oh boy. Okay.
I love these.
Are you
Yes,
guys ready?
can't
Are you
wait.
guys ready for Michael Smikun fun fact?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I had Michael Smikun in front of his wife, chased out of a bar in Grand Cayman by a woman who was pursuing him to do a body shot off of him.
Yes.
Michael, back to
absolutely
you.
happened.
Proud moment.
That is hello to yes mastery in the Ritz-Carlton Grand Cayman in a bachelorette party. Hello to yes influence at its greatest.
So
Not the 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, Michael. That is not our proudest moment. That was my proudest hello to yes moment. Back to you, Michael.
yes, and so by the way, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm blushing, and it's not easy to make me blush.
Of course I can't. I'm
Sean
blind.
can't tell.
There was a fact about that story that makes it even funnier that I completely forgot.
Yes.
That when you convinced this person to take a body shot off of me, she didn't hesitate. And then when I ran out of the room, apparently you tried to get her to take a body shot off Sam Salter.
No,
She's
I
like,
didn't
yeah,
try
no,
to-
I'm good.
Sam said he would do it. I didn't ask her to, because if I would have gone hello
Yeah,
to you.
and she was like, no, I'm good. Him, yes. You, not so much. So I had forgotten that part of the story.
That was a perfect display of significance energy by Michael Smikun. But back to you, Michael.
Yes.
We're having fun.
So,
Everybody. It's
we
the
brought
real
a lot
raw.
of fun.
Fun. By the way, all kidding aside, fun energy. You want to make more money? Have more fun. You want to have more time freedom? Have more fun. You want to have more magic? Have more fun. When fun energy disappears and dissipates, so fun energy, speaking of which, right? Yes. That is amazing. Dr. Matthew Orman, could you say a little Michael Smikun for a second?
Would love to.
Dr. Matthew and his amazing, wonderful wife just brought me food. My back got hurt. They came to
Hey,
treat
Doc.
me in my room here in Scottsdale, Arizona. By the way, everybody, yes, this is the traveling 3-ring circus at all times. Like disruption, like it present at all times. So thank you, doctor. It was amazing what you
Yeah.
did for me.
My
Because I
pleasure.
would not have been able to effectively sit in this chair. And I'm sure that you brought me something beautiful, wonderful, and healthy.
Our favorite sandwich shop in all of Arizona.
That is
All
amazing.
forefathers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So Michael, Arizona misses you. Back to you, Mike. Let's go, bud. What are you like creating all this like disruption for?
I know. So look, let's not make this about me. Let's make it about the amazing people who decided to join the Fit to Exit first Real Raw. And so I want to first start with our 2 groups. We have wonderful judges and advisors, and we have a group of amazing entrepreneurs. And so we're going to start with the entrepreneurs. And I would love if my beautiful, amazing, wonderful entrepreneurs can tell me a little bit about themselves, spend 30 seconds to a minute, and then tell me a fun fact about yourself. So I'm going to give it to, just for fun, I'm going to send it to Siobhan. Why don't you kick us off? Let's go.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here. I'm Siobhan Olivero. I am in the Tampa, Florida area. I am an attorney. I do high-level criminal defense and family law, divorce, child custody, all of those fun things that go along in family law. I'm also a certified divorce coach, bringing the emotional aspects into my firm for my clients to help them in that aspect as well. I am currently also getting certified in Jack Canfield to test principles. And as of tonight, I'm a certified inside coach as well. And so that's what I'm doing. And my fun fact is that I'm also a certified scuba diver. Absolutely love scuba diving with my husband and my son. Our favorite place is on the other coast of Florida over in Jupiter, doing the drift dives and seeing all the amazing sea life over in on that side of the coast.
Unbelievable. Siobhan bringing that fun energy into the mix. I don't know if anybody can top that, but we're going to go ahead and try. I see Ken Van Loo smiling. I'm not going to go to him. He's smiling too much. We're going to go to Ezekiel Tessin. How goes it, brother? He gave me that nervous smile. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Sean, for creating this Unblinded. It's been amazing. So my name is Ezekiel Tessin. I live in Bogota, Colombia. I'm super grateful to be with you guys. So I've been married with my beautiful wife for 11 years. We have 1 daughter. She's 4 years old. So I'm a successful entrepreneur. I have been in the wholesale business of electronics for 15 years. I've been a real estate investor for 12 years, a real estate developer for 6 years. And now, 2 years ago, I started the Tony journey So it changed my life forever. So now I want to impact in a positive way the quality of life of people. And so that's why I do it. And the fun fact, I'm addicted to Tony Robbins and Bob Proctor.
Well, Ezekiel, it's a pleasure, brother. And thank you for being here, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
It sure is. Thank you, Ezekiel. I love it. Thank you. And now we're going to go to Ken, because he was all smiley before, but now he's caught off guard. Now he's nervous.
ABL, the skyscraper builder, Michael Smikun. Dude, like building skyscrapers. The man builds skyscrapers, Michael.
Skyscrapers?
Bella Verita's
Sean, I know him more as the beautiful soul he is, not by the things that he has built, although he has done such wonderful and beautiful things. So Mr. Skyscraper, Ken Van Loo.
Yeah, I built a couple of skyscrapers with the gangsters, but there's the real gangster.
That's the real gangster.
Wait, this is Michael Smikun and Ken Van Loo all in one call?
All in one place. And Michael Smikun, who's the biggest fan of bathroom humor I've ever met. I don't like bathroom humor. Michael does. And he's like sitting here like he's a spiritual gangster talking about the essence of Ken Van Loo, Michael Smikun. Come on, brother. Come on.
I'm tapping into my beautiful love and heart energy, Sean, at this moment. But yes. Ken is about to share some amazing.
Do you like bathroom humor? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wait, what is bathroom humor? Is that when we all go in the bathroom and tell jokes? What exactly is bathroom humor?
Michael, wait. No, Bella opened up the door. So Bella, there are certain words that Sean has never said in his life.
That's a true statement.
Give me this fact.
Including the word fart. Is that true, Sean?
Michael, don't you said that word on a Real Raw? What is wrong with you? I've never said that word in my entire life.
What's wrong with fart?
Probably now my blush, Michael.
What's wrong with fart?
That is such a horrible word.
Look at how now who's red?
Now who's blushing? Yeah, there you go.
I'm serious. Am I blushing?
You are blushing, yes.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I have never said that word in my entire life.
My sister doesn't say it either, but I'm going to say it all the time now.
It's going to change the dynamics of our relationship forever.
Bella, you and I need to connect. Because boy, do I know some things that will make this person.
Yes.
I know we're all the skeletons of everything.
I love it. Let's do it.
That is funny.
I'm seriously been disrupted. Michael, congratulations. I've been skitomed. I'm on my heels. I've been rocked. I'm like out of my element.
Sean,
Mike, please drive. I'm like
Sean, I love you, brother, but I'm like John Rambo. Sometimes you just gotta let me keep walking. Sometimes you gotta let me keep walking.
So, I love you, Michael Smikun.
So Ken, back to you, brother. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a fun fact.
Oh, thank you so much. Ken Van Loo, CEO of Global Real Estate Strategies. We're a real estate development and investment firm. Been doing it a few years and was real fortunate to build skyscrapers in New York for several years, starting from super up to project executive and then developing my own. So it's been real fascinating. And then I figured out a formula after doing it so many years, and it's the modern wealth building formula, how to master real estate investing. And I wrote a book that was published last December, hit some, great reviews. Jack Canfield put his name on the front cover, was real proud of that. Dolph Daru wrote the foreword, really, really excited. And what I'm trying to do is just develop property and create opportunities for people to invest, living opportunities, and also take the modern wealth building formula across the world and just help people create more, money, time, and magic in their life.
Beautiful. Tell us something fun about you, brother.
I'm sorry.
I was a semi-professional magician for years, and I performed magic in the Magic Castle.
That is amazing.
And Ken Van Loo had 166 tackles his senior year, hit 5 home runs, all-state athlete. Were those stats correct, Ken, that I just said?
Yes, sir. They were published. Yeah, I had 16 tackles a game, I think, for 10 games. We won the championship my senior year. Real best time of my life. It was so much fun. Yeah.
Right. And listen, I create a lot of disruptive energy with the fun. So forgive that or not.
I love it.
Michael Smikun has been the greatest student of the technology in the space of lawyering, aggression, disruption, and opening of anybody I've ever worked with. It's been an honor and a privilege, Michael. Michael has saved our cases, my life practically, on multiple occasions, and I think his. And we co-created those 2 top 100 national jury verdicts we talk about all the time. They don't happen without Michael. Michael, you are an amazing, amazing, world-class, unbeatable, unparalleled husband and father. And I love you and a friend. So we have fun. This is what it's all about. Partnership, creating in the world. Michael, congratulations on launching this. And brother, we're on our way.
Yep, 100%. Thank you, brother. So I just want to honor you for a second, because I'm not doing this if you're not creating and machete and torch in hand, creating the path for what this is, and for helping me the 47 times that it took you for you to tell me to figure out just how valuable the creation of ecosystem mergers are, and the creation of community and relationship, and how important it is to come from here when you're connecting with people and not from here, right? Because that was my challenge. So thank you for that. And by the way,
I'm going to drop in and out, and you are a son of a bee, because you gave Bella Verita the real F word. And I'll see you in a little bit.
And don't be confused that word will not ever be used again. That will be dropped. Thank you guys for letting me pop in.
So I think from our entrepreneurial group, we still have the one, the only D Puck, bro. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you bringing me on here. This is exciting, even though I don't know what's going to happen. I love throwing myself into these types of situations. But I do want to acknowledge you and Sean at the same time. At our very first event in January, I feel like Unblinded was pregnant with Michael Smikun, and where Sean was like, stop hiding, stop hiding, stop hiding. And then today is the birth of Michael Smikun, where you're not hiding anymore. Like, this is you. This is what you were meant to do. Like, it took not 9 months, it took 11 months, but whatever.
I'm a long gestation period.
Yeah, finally here. And I love all of the people on here. I think we've all interacted at some point. Ezekiel's got a biocharger back there. Like, I'm a huge fan of all this technology. Excited to meet everybody. A little bit about me. I've got a 25-year career in technology and operations, been through 10 different startup companies here in Austin, Texas. Some of them had some really great exits. I've learned a ton through it. I ended up buying a wellness business called OsteoStrong, and I've started another business alongside of it called Follow Up as a Service, to combine everything that I've learned and to solve one of the biggest challenges out there, which is nobody has really solved the follow-up problem. Like, nobody can effectively follow up with all of their leads consistently to drive revenue. So that's the biggest thing that I'm tackling today. Beautiful. And fun fact, I've got this little skiing thing in the background. It's because that I'm probably in the top 1% skiers in Texas. There's not one thing that I won't do on a pair of skis. Like, I've been off the 60-foot kickers. I've been through the craziest stuff, and like, it is my passion. I love it to death.
Beautiful. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, brother. That is amazing. And by the way, Deepak is going to help me to solve my follow-up problem. So love him for that. And now I want to turn some attention over to our beautiful advisor judges. So we're going to start with the man who already has his fun fact locked down. So Craig, why don't you introduce yourself, brother?
Yes, thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure meeting everybody. And I am based in New Jersey. I'm an owner of a mortgage bank. We've been in existence now for about 11, going on 12 years. Also a real estate investor. And I've learned a lot through investing and financing and different ways to finance. And I really love, my biggest love is the business strategy side behind putting these things together, building the business, growing it with other people, expanding and scaling. So that's really what I'm interested in. I love the real estate investment side. I want to do more of it. And I'm trying to plan much, much bigger. And it's all part of the game plan moving forward. So that's a little bit about me. A fun fact, besides my history buff side, which I'm a huge history buff, but I'm also a published poet. And I was published on the first page of a book. I think it was my junior year in college. And it was just because I had no idea what the hell was going on in my life or in the world. You just kind of believe what the professors are telling you. And I wrote this crazy poem in like 17 minutes because they got an email to enter into this competition and wound up winning and being published on the first page of a book. So I'm a published poet. Don't know how, never was since, but it happened. So that's my fun fact.
And Craig has a recycled bear rug on the floor in front of him. It's a recycled.
I do. I have recycled bear rug, signed pictures of Ronald Reagan, Abraham Lincoln. Like, I have a lot of weird stuff in here. Let's put it that way. And a deer head. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So we're gonna move on then to the absolute man. I've had a tremendous amount of experience with this next judge / advisor. He has helped us to achieve, my firm's 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, and is exceptional in the space of ecosystem mergers, as it turns out to be, and is an incredible economic damage expert. So, Dr. Young, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, Michael, thank you so much for being on the Real Raw today. It's a real pleasure meeting everybody here. I'm really excited for you, Michael. This is going to be an awesome first Real Raw for you, and I'm excited to see what happens here with Fit to Exit. Fun fact, back early in my career in 1999, I ran a venture capital fund, and that's less relevant. Two folks came into my office one day and they said, "Hey, would you invest in our company? We're starting this thing that's a search engine." And I remember I passed on it because at that point in time, there was another company out there that was run by a gentleman by the name of Mark Andreessen. And I said, there's no way in the world that a company by the name of Google is going to take off. And I passed on the business. And we would have put about $1 million into that business if we did it. And it's fair to say, had I done that, I would not be meeting any of you beautiful people in the show today.
That is a fun fact. He'd own his own island. So I'm sorry for you, Dr. Young, that you passed on. So
yeah.
For me, that's a tragedy. It's not a fun fact, but you find levity.
It's a fun fact 20 years later. It's
That's right. It took 20 years to get over it. That is too funny. So the last of our advisors today is a gentleman who I met earlier this year, and I dubbed him the process mastery genius. I don't think I've ever met anybody as disciplined as him in what it is that he does, but I will have him introduce himself. Michael Reeder.
Thank you, Michael, for the introduction. Very humbled. Great to be here, everyone. First, I just want to say he's not here on this Real Raw, but I just want to give a shout out to Craig Baumel. I got introduced to this community of amazing people, of all of you, when I first had an intro call with Craig. We connected on LinkedIn, and Craig's energy was electrifying, and just like what it's manifested into ever since, from then to now has just been amazing. Meeting amazing people like you, Mike, everyone here, Deepak, I'm excited for our call on Friday, L. Anderson. So I'm humbled and honored because I'm just part of this great community that pretty much, found me from Craig's energy. And so I'm just really thankful for that. Entrepreneur. So my name is Michael Reeder, entrepreneur out of Chicago. I own 2 businesses. One is a CPA firm. I started working for the CPA firm for my mentor, Barry Swartz, out of college in 2010. I now own it with my wife, Mimi. Swartz and Reeder Advisors. We're a CPA firm for small businesses and individuals, working with clients, several in the greater Chicago area, several all across the country, several. We have a niche in the franchise industry. I also own a business brokerage franchise consulting firm, BizFran Hub. We work with buyers and sellers interested in buying, selling franchise and non-franchise businesses. And we're also scaling our business to be an online digital marketplace for the business, resale, and franchise world. So super excited about that. A couple fun facts, as Michael has alluded to, I'm obsessed with my routine. The staples of it are intermittent fasting. I fast for about 22 to 23 hours a day. I eat only within a 60 to 90 minute period. When I do, I load up on a bunch of nutritious stuff. I take cold showers. I take 2 or 3 cold showers a day. I go in my infrared hot sauna right over there once for 45 minutes every 2 days. And I walk a lot. And so I went from 270 to 190. I've been able to maintain it. I've never been able to do that before. And so I'm obsessed with my routine. I feel like by doing it, I've been optimizing myself as a human being. But My wife, Mimi, is a martial artist. She's been a martial artist for 20 plus years. So whenever she tells me to do the dishes or to wash the floors or whatever, I do it because I don't want to get kicked in the face. Thank you.
Spoken like a person who potentially has been kicked in the face before for not washing the dishes.
Yes, sir.
So that is amazing. All right, let the games begin. So I want to explain some of the ground rules here, just so we all have a firm understanding about what it is that we're going to be doing next. So each of the entrepreneurs are going to have 3 minutes to do the following. I'm a prospective buyer, someone who is interested in doing one of 3 things with you. Number 1, invest inside of your business in exchange for equity coming to me. Number 2, I will buy your business. You will tell me how much you want to sell it for, and I will think about whether or not I want to purchase your business. And number 3 is I am a potential A-level player, the kind of person you've been searching for your entire life that is going to come and replace you in the role that you occupy right now and let you rise up to the owner level. But eventually, there's going to be an internal exit, and I want some of your equity. We're going to have to figure that out. So you're going to tell me which one of those 3 that you want. And then when we're done in the 3 minutes, I'm going to turn to 1 or 2 of my advisors, whether it's Craig, Chris, or Mike, and I'm going to ask them, what one question do you have for this entrepreneur, which they're going to be able to pose to you. You're going to answer to them, and then they're going to tell me whether or not and what they loved about your presentation, what they would have liked to see differently, and from their own perception, how fit to exit you are on a scale from 1 to 10. So does anybody have any questions before we start? Well, then let's rock and roll. Let me ask the entrepreneurs, does anybody want to go first? Show of hands, does anybody want to go first? Ken, out of the gates. I gotta say, as a prospective buyer, I love his confidence. So Ken, you ready to rock and roll, brother?
Yes, I think so. I'm still debating on which one to pick. Go ahead. What do you think?
3 minutes on the clock. Tell me who I am.
Yeah. I think I'll try number 1. Well, you know what? I should probably do one that's totally out of a little more out of, what do you recommend? Something I'm more comfortable with, or go out of comfort zone here?
It's up to you, man. I want to see how fit to exit you are.
Great. Yeah, let's try number 3. Like person who, level A, who could build the business, operator, owner. That's a new conversation for me. Perfect.
Let's go, baby. 3 minutes on the clock.
Shoot.
Here we go.
Hey, Michael, what's happening? How are you?
Hey, Ken, how's it going, man?
What are you up to today?
Not a whole lot. Listen, I got to tell you, I'm really excited to be having this conversation. I've read a lot about you. I've seen what you've done with your business. So talk to me. Like, what's present for you? Like, what do you see as the future for me here?
Hey, thank you very much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. I know your time's extremely valuable. So appreciate you giving me the opportunity to dive right in. So we have a lot of things going on, and I'm sometimes trying to figure out how to split myself in half. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation before in other businesses. Have you ever had that feeling?
I absolutely have, yes. And it was challenging, but we had to find a way through. So, yes. But I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's really going on with me is, I've been a real successful developer and moving into areas where my projects are getting larger and larger. So, I'm feeling the challenge of operations where I'd like to get someone to fill that role, to really take over operations and also be part of what I'm building on the other end, which is the book I just authored, The Modern Wealth Building Formula. So there's an opportunity for you, really to look at 2 different businesses. So as far as me splitting myself in half, I spend a lot of time in operations on the development side, and there's always just not enough hours during the day to focus on the other side of the business. But, I'm really looking to see, how you view that. I don't know are you familiar with the 2 sides of the business? I know you're real familiar with the development side. Are you familiar with what I'm trying to do on the informational marketing side with the book?
On the development side, I am, but on the book, I'm not that familiar. So, and that's where I'd be joining you.
Yeah, well, I'd like you, where your forte is to basically take over the development operations and, run the show, which would enable me to have a little bit more free time. And, make it extremely worth your while. That would never give you that type of opportunity where there wouldn't be some equity partnerships. But what I really found through my work with actually Unblinded is that, I could have it all, with process mastery. And I don't know if you're familiar with that. We'll get into that in another, time period. But what I've done with the Modern Wealth Building Formula is I've created a lot of programs around it. Being in real estate over the years, I have several programs. One is Real Estate Mastery University. Another one is Financial Freedom Protocol, how to develop real estate development made simple. And now I'm finishing up the Modern Wealth Building Formula. So there's a bunch of informational marketing that is basically, I use it as a deal feeder, which would, one business would feed the other as I get, more known throughout the country. But that's kind of the platform. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm hearing that you're doing a lot of super exciting things. If you had to identify one thing, right, the greatest value that I could bring to your organization, what do you think that one thing would be?
Yeah, that's good. Sometimes I get so excited, I spread the spectrum out a little. But I guess the primary thing that if you could come in and literally take over global real estate strategies, and moving towards the unlimited funding, and we're going to move towards the purchase of multifamily acquisitions now, in addition to our developments. That would be ideal, because I'm not saying that I would jump out of operations totally, but we would make this huge transition. It would enable me to focus on other things outside that and feed deals to you, which you can then build equity and develop projects within the organization.
Yeah, listen, I'm super interested. Obviously I have to call some of my advisors and see if this makes sense for me. So can I give you a call back in a day or two and we can discuss it from there?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, definitely a conversation. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward. I'll shoot you over a little summary of what we talked about today, and I look forward to talking to you on the next call.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
Beautiful. Thank you. How did that feel for you?
It felt pretty good.
Very nice.
Yeah, first time, having that conversation, that's been a conversation that's been in my head for a while. So thank you for the opportunity.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I guess I'm going to call Craig. I'm really curious. So Craig, if you had one question for Ken, right, about the opportunity, the business, what would that one question be?
My one question for Ken would be, what is your one takeaway, right? What is the purpose of this conversation? What are you trying to really hit, right? So kind of narrow down focus. What is the goal of having this conversation for 3 minutes? That would be my question.
My goal, the one takeaway would be that, I find, my belief system is that no one could do it as good as me, right? So I've always had problems with delegating, but, I've managed, several project managers, several high rises at once. But, thinking about that from a business perspective, kind of handing Michael over the reins and the controls. I'm a little bit of a control fanatic. I guess the one thing would, would I be okay with Michael taking over the show? That's kind of my takeaway that I've just started to think about, since I met Sean, where, he had the law firm and he had not that he had to make a choice, but he was able to, his initial choice sent him down a path where then he realized he could do it both. And he came back and built the law firm and then, the Unblinded movement. But I may be rambling a bit, but the one thing would be to find someone that could, duplicate what I do.
So, and just to follow up on that too, and where I get a little bit thrown, right? The confidence that you just said that I'm the best. I suffer from being the best at what I do, right? And kind of everyone, you're a control fanatic. I want to hear a little bit more of that, right? A little bit more of, hey, this is my business. I want someone that's going to come in and deserve it, right? Almost a little bit more confidence in that business as opposed to asking. And and that's why I wanted to ask what the one goal was, because if that was your goal, I think you got to go a little bit more direct for the kill, as if you're interviewing Mike, right? As opposed to you being interviewed.
Exactly. And I appreciate that, because when I went into this, I said, okay, I've never had this conversation, but now that you said that, I'd be like, hey, listen, Mike, I have 125,000 hours in this, in engineering, building, construction, law, I work for lawyers, so I write all my own contracts. Can you handle everything across the board, from analyzing a project on the spot to buying out the subcontractor to jumping in the hole and setting up the survey equipment and then drawing down 10 million in the afternoon. Can you do that? So yeah, I got it.
Yeah. I like even just the tone, right?
Very nice.
Because that's what I do. I mean, that's what I do. Like I'd be digging a 30-foot hole, 1 minute, take off my boots and then the bank walks in and we draw down. So, that's what's happening. But no, thank you. Like that's, I told you I was going to be out of my comfort zone, right? I could have jumped into the easy one and asked him to invest, but I do that every day. So that was really, really cool. And I appreciate that, Craig.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Chris,
really like
what's present for you, man? One question, like if you had to ask Ken, like what would be the one question that you have for him?
You're on mute, buddy.
I have two questions, but I guess I'm only allowed to ask one, right?
You could ask two.
I'd be interested in understanding what's the pay performance model. So how are you going to get me excited to do this?
Paper performance model. Interesting. Can you give me, so you mean equity?
Yeah, cash, equity, benefits, healthcare, whatever. Stock options.
Yeah, got it. So, Michael, I know you're, what I'm looking to do is a combination of, extremely nice salary, somewhere in the $350,000 range, full benefits, expenses paid, and, make you, a 20% partner across the board. That's basically what I'm throwing on the table.
Wait, is that offer really open to me or no?
If you can do what I can do,
hey, look, right? Like you answer the unspoken question, right? I think Chris Young hit it on the head. So, like that is what's lingering out there. Like, I'm curious, like, how much do you really value me as an A-level player? Because if I'm coming in and I'm taking over your role to allow you to do more of what you do, that's the unspoken question, right? Like, let's get down to brass tacks and figure out those things. But Craig, let me ask you really quickly, like, what do you think Ken did really well? Try to keep it as tight as possible.
I think Ken's so very, very personable. I mean, he's got a voice like silk, that guy. So, I mean, you are extremely personable, which is very, very important because there's an automatic commonality, right? So you did that very, very well. You introduced yourself. It wasn't an uncomfortable situation. So it was the best setting it could be in to prime and to ask. So without a doubt, you're excellent with that.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Thank you, Craig. And on a scale from 1 to 10, how ready do you think Ken is to have that conversation with an A-level player to replace him?
I would say about a 6.5 right now.
Craig, you're kind. You're a kind man.
Yeah, I don't know where the bar is, right? So I'll say 6.5.
Yeah. So the scale question is a tough one, Chris. What do you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a 6.
Sounds good.
Did you hear me?
Mike, I think you're muted.
He might be frozen. Michael, you there?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, reader. I think
Chris, what do you think Ken did really well?
What he did really well. I totally agree with Craig. Just your approach, your demeanor. I almost said, I'll take the job because it was so endearing to me. So I think your approach and getting people to buy into your vision, even though you didn't talk about it, but I just want to hear more from you. I think you did a phenomenal job of that. I think you could have maybe gone into some details a little bit. Initially talking about, I'm bringing somebody on with a package that is going to be pretty exciting to you. Maybe some equity over time, getting into my question, which is the pay for performance aspects of the role. And nothing serious, just enough to whet the person's appetite, get them excited.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Chris, how ready do you think Ken is to have that conversation with an A-level player?
I think Ken, I think he was a little shocked at the question. Maybe it's like kissing on the first date, but you know, maybe he didn't have that story buttoned up yet. So
yeah, that was my first time. So yeah, and like if I redo it right now, it'd be totally different. But I need to. You always got to do something once. That was good.
And then you're coming back for another round. And
Oh,
then,
I'm ready.
And you're in it to win it. So thank you, Ken.
That's
So
it.
next person on deck, we're gonna go with Siobhan. How are you doing? So Siobhan, 3 minutes on the clock. Who am I to you?
You're going to be the A player that I am trying to come in and get a succession plan built around.
Beautiful, beautiful. 3 minutes on the clock. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Rock and roll.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, Siobhan, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for meeting with me today. I know your time is tight and that we only have about 3 minutes. So I am coming to talk to you about something that I'm planning in the law firm and would love to bring you in on. And but I just wanted to chat with you briefly and see what if you were to get involved in a law firm, what would your vision be? What are you looking to really step into for something that would be important to you?
You know, for me, it's probably, I would want to be more of the day-to-day, right? Operating within the business. For me, growth, the on-the-business decisions, that's less of what I'm interested in. I'm more of taking over the driver's seat role on the litigation side. I hope that's consistent with what you're looking for from me.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And as far as like maybe the values of the firm, what would be important to you for that?
Hard to say. Like, I've looked at your website and I've been super interested in you, and if I wasn't, I wouldn't be sitting here. So clearly the values that you stand for, clearly what you have shared with me. Do you mind if I ask you a quick question about that?
Sure.
You know, what would be your vision for me if I were to take over your seat in the firm?
So I'm actually looking for somebody to come in and take over the day-to-day operations, be the litigator, be the person running the firm. And because, you know, I do have a vision for the firm and I want someone that's on board with the vision and with the values of the firm. I do believe in giving, you know, extraordinary, you know, client service to our clients and just going above and beyond for our clients to have exceptional service for them. And my vision is to take the firm nationwide, to be able to help as many clients as we can, to help them with integrity and to really bring a difference to them outside and more than what other law firms are doing. And so in that growth and in that expansion, I need somebody to take over the day-to-day operations, right? To be the person that can run the litigation, run the firm, create a succession plan so that I can remove myself from that role, have you step into that, and I can work on the growth and expansion in the other areas that we would need to do.
Okay. And how do you see our relationship being structured in terms of the future? Like, do you anticipate me getting equity at some point in time? And what time frame do you think that would be?
I do anticipate that there would be an equity type of relationship at some point in time. I think since we only have another minute or so left, I would love to sit down and have another conversation with you where we have a longer time to do that. I'd love to have my proposal put together and your proposal put together, and we can see where we're at and then start to work out those terms and see what that is. But yes, I do see that it would be an equity position. Obviously, with salary, with benefits, with everything that comes along with being in that operator position. And but I would love for both of us to put proposals together for what that would look like, and then start to get the agreement put together if that is something that you would love to. And I'd love to have you come in and start in that role. And so I'd like to see what that would look like for us.
I would love that. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. So Mike, if you had one question, brother, what would it be?
I would just be a little bit more direct. I feel like it was just a little bit and I have this bad habit too. Just a little bit more, direct and to the point, and just more specific on what the deliverable would be. It's not easy. It's something that I struggle with to myself, but that would be the thing that came to mind for me when I was listening.
Siobhan, let me ask you this question. what do you see the vision of your firm's future being? Do you see yourself in that role? Do you see someone actually taking over your seat and allowing you to grow and do the things that you're talking about? Is that your vision?
Yes, it is.
And how far along are you in the process of finding that right person for you to do that for you?
Not close.
Well, what's your flag in the ground? What are you committed to do if that's your vision ultimately?
So I'm working towards that. I'm working in that process. I am trying to put together the policies and systems and procedures in place that will allow me to start to essentially reproduce myself so that I can get out of it, right? And then find that right person that's going to be the owner or the operator in it so that I can start to do the bigger picture things and expanding the firm. So currently that's what I'm doing. And I'm working on those systems and procedures.
Do you have a vision of what that perfect person looks like for you?
I don't currently have a vision of what that perfect person looks like for me.
They look like Michael Smikun.
It should look like Michael Smikun. I mean, Sean's not joking. Like in my first conversation with him, it wasn't about how much experience I had. It was picking the right person. And so you're talking about putting processes and protocols in place, but you don't even have a vision for what that person needs to look like, right? What they're going to do for you, what they mean to you. And so you can't put that intention into the universe. Chris.
I was going to say one more thing, Mike, that came to mind.
Yeah.
So Shubhan, one thing, because I'm doing the same thing with my CPA firm, and so what I like to do is, as a business owner, from one business owner to another, is I like to call it the gamification of business. So I make a game, like when you're playing chess, that's a game. When you're playing Monopoly, that's a game. When you're playing football, baseball, whatever, there are rules within each game that you're playing. So the game that I like, one of the games that I play with myself as a business owner, and it has its benefits for someone who's looking to exit in one way, shape, or form, is I play the delegation game. So pretty much I say, like, so my knee-jerk reaction in business a lot of the times is to do things myself. And so the game that I play with myself is things got to get done, but Mike Reeder can't do it. So even if it's something simple, it forces me to delegate, it forces me to implement systems in place for the business, internal controls, and it forces me to trust others. And I make a game of it. And so, if like whatever you're trying to do in order to get if you just approach it with that mindset, and if you do it yourself, then you're breaking the rules. And so that mindset just kind of like, if you kind of make a game of it, right? Like business and life is not a game. It's the opposite of a game. But if you approach it like you're playing a game when there's certain rules that you have to follow by, and if you don't follow them, you break the rule, then it's like a mind hack of getting your business to whatever you want to accomplish, in order for it to be in a position where you can take on an A player to do that. It goes against our instinct. Like I'm someone who I'm someone who likes to do everything myself, but like all the values in me when I do that. And so like, how do we get that value, for the like if I were to leave? And so the gamification of business is an approach that I take, and it could be helpful for you too.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for that. Chris, you had one question.
What makes your company awesome?
What makes our company awesome is just the outstanding service that we provide. There's nobody around that offers what we offer to our clients and that does the things that we do. In addition to offering the legal services that we did, I have made it a point to also fill the other holes in the process that needed to be filled. For instance, I became a certified divorce coach because there's nobody inside of the professional divorce arena that is there to meet the emotional needs of a client. And so I brought that in to start to fill the voids that our clients need. And then in addition became a certified coach so that on the criminal defense side of things, I work with those clients as well to help them break the cycle and to really see that, out when we're not determined by the worst thing that we do in a day, and that you can create a better life for yourself.
Awesome.
Beautiful. So Mike, what was one thing you loved that Siobhan did in trying to sell me as an A player?
Just her candor. She, she was just honest, and she just came right out with it. She didn't overthink it, and just that candid human approach really resonates with me.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mike. On a scale from 1 to 10, how ready is Siobhan to have this conversation with her new A player for a future internal exit?
I would say 6.5, just because it's just a matter of implementing the everything that needs to be implemented in order for that A player to come on and to do what they have to do. So 6.5.
Thank you, Mike. Chris, what's one thing that you love that Siobhan did?
So I agree with Michael. I enjoyed the dialogue, the discourse. I thought it was clearly sincere to me, and I believe everything you were saying. So for me, that's very important.
Beautiful. Chris, how ready is Siobhan to be having this conversation?
I would say 6.
Very nice. What's one thing that you think that Siobhan could do to be closer to having this conversation?
So do you mean with her business or the way she approached the interview?
I would say to position herself, right, to be able to have this conversation, which kind of touches on both.
Yeah, I would have loved to hear, Siobhan, a little bit more about the company, why you guys are so awesome. I would have loved to hear something about, we're the number one X in this area. Michael, that we're number one here, we're number 2 here, we're number 3 here. We want you to come in and help drive and have some discrete talking points to get Michael pretty excited about.
Beautiful. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
So next up on the plate, and thank you, Siobhan, amazing as usual, is Ezekiel Tessin. How goes it, brother?
Very good, very good.
So Ezekiel, who am I to you?
So you are my ideal investor, and you are also an influencer that can attract several clients with your testimony.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm your ideal investor. You're looking to have me come in as a prospective partner, right?
Yes.
And I'm also an influencer. I also have the power to bring you the community that you're looking for.
Yes.
Correct. I love it. 3 minutes on the clock. Here we go.
So hello, Mike. How have you been?
Hey, Ezekiel. How are you doing? I'm so glad that we're able to connect.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your time to hear our amazing opportunity. So my name is Ezekiel Tesson. I live in Bogota, Colombia. I'm a successful entrepreneur. And what I do is connect people with their passions. So I'm working with one of the best doctors here in Bogota, Colombia, that he works with the stem cells medicine to improve people's lives. So he has a track record of more than 700 clients, and he has made many different kind of treatments to me and my family. Even I got the COVID in August, and he did this treatment for me. It was amazing because it was relieving. So I'm helping this doctor because of his mindset, his belief, and his willingness to help people. And I want to expand his business worldwide, since his treatments are not available in different countries and it's more expensive. So he's very well known in the Caribbean islands and in Latin America, but he wants to expand worldwide. So we are willing to give you 30% of the equity in exchange of 300K to invest in world-class marketing, attracting our ideal client to Colombia so that they can have their stem cells treatment made locally. Also, we are investing in a stem cell bank offer to new customers in Colombia and promoting with integrity-based influencers free therapies so that he can make a bigger impact worldwide. So he has invested more than 500K in a new clinic here in Bogota, and he's willing to collaborate and co-create with a powerful environment, new clients and investors. So are you willing to join our family?
Yeah, I have 2 questions. You know what? I have one question. I have clarity on what you want me to do as an influencer to bring people to the community to begin to utilize this doctor to certainly get the word out. But what does my $300,000 buy me?
Yeah, so basically what we need is also world-class marketing. We're investing in a stem cell bank to create awareness, not only in Colombia, but in Latin America and worldwide, so that people know more about stem cells treatment, and also get more influencers to get the word out about these treatments, you know, because they work for pain, for COVID, for a mindset, for many things, you know.
Beautiful. No, I hear it. I understand the opportunity and I appreciate it, but I do have to call some of my advisors before we go ahead and put this kind of money out there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I'll send you the information with the opportunity and the business case. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ezekiel. It was a pleasure. So Mike, what question do you have for Ezekiel?
I would just, I love the energy. My question would be, again, just to hammer down on the actual, like, investors want to know what's in it for them. Like we all want to do good in the world, but at the end of the day, like also, you know, the investor wants to know what's in it for them. And so when Mike asked the question, like, what am I getting for the 300K? It was, there wasn't really much a direct, like, you know, hey, Mike, you're getting this. It was just kind of more of like a, you know, dancing around the goodwill and stuff like that, which is nice. But you know, Mike had a specific ask, and I felt like the answer didn't really, you know, satisfy Mike's ask.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And so, Mike, I know you have a time commitment here, so I want to honor that. You have to bounce in about a couple of minutes.
Well, so on the other one, it started, like, I kind of have a second computer going right now, so I'm trying to, like, you know, toggle both and mute.
All good. Anytime you need to jump, you're welcome to do it. But you know, before we go over to Craig, which I'm going to go to in a second, what did you love about what Ezekiel did?
The energy, man. Like the energy. Like I'm all about positive. Like, you know, like I really and like talk about like Craig and like Elle and like Mike and like Sean. Like I've just been like overwhelmed in a positive way with just like the positive energy of this group. So like when Ezekiel, like, so like I'm just like gravitated towards positive energy. So like, you know, Ezekiel has it coming out of his he has that aura of him, and like when someone's positive like Ezekiel, you just, you know, you just want to figure out ways to make it work.
Yeah. Beautiful. And let me ask you this question: how ready is Ezekiel to have this conversation?
I would say again, like should have been like a 6.5. It's like the energy is there, but the drill down is not.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Craig, what one question do you have, brother?
I would say, how important is it for you to get Mike's money? How important is it for Mike to invest in your company?
So how important it is? Well, very, very important, and even more important, the influence, you know, because what we're trying to build with the doctor is the awareness and so that the clients can come to Colombia and watch what he's doing right here, you know.
And the reason I asked that is because then what I would suggest is making it more about how important Mike's investment is. Obviously, you talked a lot, and it was great to hear about what the doctor's offering, the products, the advances they're making in the future, and the, you know, the opportunities. But I felt like you kind of talked past Mike's role and trying. You're on a call. You're soliciting, right? You're selling. Yeah. I felt like there needed to be more of a sale, right? You needed to get more out of Mike and draw him in more, because then if you don't do that, it becomes, the way I felt was, it was great presentation, great information, but you're going to hang up the phone and call the next person, right? So if I'm not biting, the next person is going to be an opportunity. So drawing him in and making him feel more of, wow, this is something that they're catering to me, would have been important.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you, Craig. Thank you. So, Craig, what do you think is something that Ezekiel did that was great?
I sense his passion for what he's doing. The passion is there. You know, this is going to be a game changer. You believe in what you're trying to get investment in. So the passion's there, which is 3/4 of the battle. So without a doubt, passion was the best thing that you did.
Amazing. Craig, on a scale from 1 to 10, being a money guy yourself, how ready is our friend Ezekiel to having this conversation? How ready is he?
So without knowing more in particulars, because that's a long conversation, I would say you're more of a 7, because all you need to do is get that little sales pitch. If you got that little bit more, if you saw a little bit more blood and went for the kill, I think it would have been a much better pitch, and you can get closer to 8, 9.
Yes. Now remember, most of these people are basically riding up an elevator with me, right? For 3 minutes. So I will say that so far, everybody has been absolutely tremendous in what they've done for the 3 minutes that they have had. But I see what you see, Craig, as well. We saved the best for last. Here we go. The man, Deepak. You ready, brother? Who am I for you?
Mike, you are going to be Mike.
I'm Mike?
And,
all right.
And I'm going to be Deepak. So we're just going to have a candid conversation, and we're going to have a little fun with this.
Very nice. Very nice.
And my ask is, this is going to be an investment play. So I just figured this out. So be kind. So all right.
you got 3 minutes, brother. So on the clock, let's go.
All right, Mike, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing super well, Deepak. I'm so glad that we're having this conversation.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge you and you offering your time to talk about this. Your time is extremely valuable, and I know the incredible things you're up to in the world. The Supreme Court, that whole announcement, super duper awesome. And I just appreciate your time. And I just want to set the frame for this call. I know we only have a couple minutes, but all I'm looking for is just to set the next call at the end of this. Does that sound right?
You have it. Yeah, you have it.
All right, perfect. So that we're talking about an investment. So before I kind of jump into that, what's important to you when you're looking at a company to invest in?
For me, it's security, right? Because if I'm putting my family's livelihood on the line, I want to make sure that it's a safe investment. Obviously, I want growth out of it, but if I'm forced to choose one or the other, I want my money to be safe.
Cool. So what makes something safe for you?
That I understand it, that, the risk is something that's tolerable, that it's asymmetric, right? So I know that if I'm putting my money in, if I'm putting $100,000 or $200,000 into something, that I get decision-making control, that I understand it, and that the return on investment is asymmetrical.
Got it. So when you're evaluating risk, do you have a checklist of things that you're evaluating against, or what does that look like for you? How do you evaluate risk?
You know what? It's funny that you asked me that question, because I have made investments in the past before, and I don't know if I consciously have a checklist. I just almost trust my gut almost inherently, and then I begin to challenge my gut feeling and go is this just fear, right? That's keeping me from making an intelligent decision about a smart investment. So probably not consciously, but deep down inside, yes, maybe there is a checklist.
Okay, cool. So now I appreciate that background because that helps me kind of frame the conversation. So what I'm looking for today is that what I'm up to in the world, and where I'm at, and we're at a scaling problem. So what we're looking at is hiring 3 ops people, another guy to help run sales, and we're looking for $500,000 for a 20% equity stake in this company. So why would you even consider that? So from a security standpoint and a safety standpoint, you probably want somebody who's kind of been in this game, who started something and exited before. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Right. So, I've done this 10 times. They weren't all successful, but I've learned a ton. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of safety around that. And then on top of that, I'm in an industry where this solution does not exist. So not only would you become an equity partner, but I foresee this becoming a partnership with Fit to Exit and being tacked onto every single client you work with, because we influence every single business, as you know, and nobody is doing this. So the asymmetrical reward is incredible. So you're looking at potentially a 10 to 15x ROI on your investment over the next 5 to 10 years as this thing explodes. And if that sounds like something that might be interesting, I'd love to set up the next call and kind of deep dive into the details to give you some more security and answer some more of your questions.
But let me ask you this question, Deepak, and we are going to have another conversation without doubt, but what does this investment mean to you? What does this allow you to achieve?
You know, I've got a dream to change the way kids get educated. And I look at this as an opportunity to create some financial abundance for me to achieve that dream. And that's literally the only thing that's happening. Like, as you know, we're doing a Real Raw for kids next week. So it's not just talk, there's action behind it. And that's one of the things that you get with me is that when you invest in me, you invest in action. I'm not just going to talk. I'm actually going to execute.
Beautiful. Yeah, we are definitely going to have that follow-up conversation because I'm super interested to learn more.
Beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Dr. Young, what's top of mind?
So what's on my mind? Well, I assume you know what Deepak does.
I do. But are you suddenly struck with the realization that he didn't really go into great detail about what that was?
Yeah, I mean, look, I get the sense that he's assuming you already know what he does. I mean, first thing I would have done is talk about the business, but then again, you know, I see the perspective you're coming at. So, assuming you know the business already, I would actually talk a little bit about, and I hear what you said, Deepak, and I totally agree with you, especially when you're using the formula to get to the next meeting. I think I would have dropped a couple facts in that conversation that would have been, hey, Mike, you probably don't know about these 4 or 5 incredible things that are going on at the firm. And I would like you to talk about it. I'd like to have a conversation with you about a $500 million investment or a $500,000 investment or 200,000, whatever it is he's looking to put in. I think you would have just like to get him excited a little bit. But the conversation was very, I mean, it was obviously sincere. You come off very sincere. I think it would have been in your best interest to just get him to say, wow, I didn't realize you were doing all of those incredible things.
Beautiful. Thank you, Doc. Craig, so what's your one question for Deepak?
It would have been similar to Chris. What exactly are you discussing, right? What are you selling? What are you trying to get Mike in on? But again, assuming that you guys had known each other and the conversation had already started somewhere, I would say, what was, aside from the next call, what was the goal of the call?
Well, let's ask the question. Deepak, what is it that you're doing, brother, like in the world?
I think well, to answer Craig's question, like, what was the goal of the call? Number one is to create enough intrigue to get the next call. I want him to start thinking of, hey, yeah, I do know what you're doing, and I didn't even know that this opportunity was available to invest. So I'm just trying to create intrigue. And yeah, and I apologize for this for the folks on here that don't know what I do. But Mike and I have had several conversations before this, so I probably should have pre-framed that with the advisors as well.
Yeah, so share with the world, right? We're recording this. So what is it that you do, brother?
Yeah, so what we do is we are helping people see the gold mine that they're sitting on that they're not mining. And that gold mine is a mountain of clients and prospects that they haven't communicated with in years. And the way that I get people to think about that is that if you think of like what your lifetime value of a customer is, and maybe in the legal world it could be let's just say $50,000, and you're sitting on 1,000 prospects that you haven't communicated with in a while, you do the math, and that is a ton of money that you're sitting on, that for people that already know who you are, that already trust you, and you have already paid for that lead. So why not put something in motion to communicate with them consistently, add value, add value, add value over a period of time? Because we know people don't make buying decisions on just a single click or a single meeting. So what we've done is we've automated those touch points, the follow-up touch points. So we are putting your brand top of mind via email, via text message, using specific relevant messaging that's related to what's important to you. So it's not a blanket email, it's not a blanket text message. It's very specific based on your engagement, your interest, your needs, to get them to just initiate a conversation. And that's what we're doing as a software platform. And there's no one else doing the stuff that we're doing today.
Beautiful.
So we're creating this expansive industry in the way that we're doing.
Awesome. So Chris, with that amazing additional addendum to the presentation, what's something that you think Deepak did really well?
Yeah, so I think, again, Deepak's very sincere. He obviously knows his business very well. Can probably sell it extremely well. I just think, I'll go back to the same point I had before. As somebody who was not too familiar with his business, I would have loved to hear that in the beginning. I would have started with it. Even then, Deepak, you're a humble guy, right? My guess is you're being really humble, and my guess is there's probably some data points that are wow data points that Michael needs to hear that you're probably holding back on because you're such a sincere, integrous type of guy.
Man, I think one of the things that Sean says that are really important is that humility is a virtue, modesty is a sin, right? And so there's a couple of bombs, Deepak, that I know about your business that are just like bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, I remember the first time we had a conversation about ecosystem merging and community building, and then you started telling me about what you do, and I was like, wait, stop. I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that myself. And so there's an amazing amount of value that somebody like Deepak brings into the world. And so I like Chris, I'm just going to jump in here, would have loved to hear more about like what those things are, because when you told me about them, I'm like, yes, I want that. So Craig, what's something that Deepak did really well?
I love, first off, his tone, his demeanor, just very, very calm, very spaced out, not talking too quickly. So understandable, very much makes you very comfortable. And I love, more than anything, that the first thing you asked for was the goal is to get another call. I love that. To me, I know what you're leading me down, right? And if you're not asking, you can't expect someone to give, right? So the fact that you preface the conversation with, my goal is to have a conversation for 3 minutes and set up another call, I think that was beautiful. Right out of the gate, I think that's perfectly done. Like Chris had said, right from there, I would have liked for you to transition more into your business and really talk about maybe 2-3 really big points, like Mike mentioned, bam, bam, bam. And then you go into the ask, right? Well, now this is why we're going to have this next call, right? So, but I love that you asked. That's amazing. And I love the tone and the temperament and just the speed of which you talked.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much, Craig. So
Thank you.
Listen, I said an hour, right? Real Raws are an hour and a half. We did it in an hour 15. And so I guess there may be some extreme value to us potentially all sharing some of our contact information. And if there's anybody on this call that you want to have further conversations with, like give them a text, right? Everybody put your cell phone numbers in, your email address is the best way to reach yourselves. And if anybody wants to talk with anybody else, please use this as an opportunity to like bridge that gap, have that further conversation, reach out to one another and connect. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate all of you. This was the maiden voyage, the first iteration of this. I will tell you that I learned a lot from what we did here. And I'm just so thankful that everybody was so open, fun, egoless in terms of everything. I love that Ken was as adventurous as he was. I love, Siobhan, the beauty of the presentation. Just everybody did such a tremendous job, and I'm so thankful to everybody. You're all experts and beautiful in my eyes. So again, thank you all very much. And if you guys all want to connect with each other, reach out to each other, see if there's additional ecosystems for you to bridge. If anybody wants me, I think we all know each other, but I'm going to put my cell phone number in the text chain. You can reach out to me directly, and we'll go from there. So again, thank you all very much, and I appreciate all of your time.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks,
See y'all.
everybody.